Live from the beautiful, vivacious Playroom Studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's the Doug Stewart Show. Yes! Yes! Yeah, thank you for joining your boy. This is the Doug Stewart Show, and I am Doug Stewart. I really appreciate it. Yo, you can check the show out on thedougstewartshow.com. You can text me. Got a new feature. You can text me at 770-847-0536. And you can also email me, Doug@thedougstewartshow.com. And give me your thoughts on today's topic. We're going to talk a little Jameis Winston. And I want to get your thoughts on that story. But I got to explain the music situation here for a second. So my counsel received a call from some folks in Cali, and they says, man, you better tell your boy stop playing our music. My attorney says, listen, you need to stop playing them people music. He said, if you don't stop, they gonna come and get all your money. So no more of that group from the West Coast, no more of those fresh beats that you've heard for so many years. This is generic YouTube music. Now, the music may be lame, but I'm still the same. I'm still live, all right? I'm still live. So we're going to get some clearances. We're going to do it in a business manner. And we'll get the tight music back at some point down the road. All right, this is the Doug Stewart Show, and I am Doug Stewart. Listen, I wanted to talk to you about this Jameis Winston story, and purposely, I kind of backed off of the story for a while until in my mind, I wanted to get more facts. I wanted more of a resolution to come out than what I've heard. And if you don't know the story, briefly, Jameis Winston, quarterback for the Florida State Seminoles, is being accused of rape by an acquaintance of his. Now, this allegedly happened just about a year ago, which leads to the first question, why is it coming back out now? Now, someone was tipped off that there was an investigation originally that really didn't develop, and newspapers got a hold of it. They started asking questions. The case was reopened. Now, let me tell you what my people are saying. I have people on the ground. I got sources on the ground in Tallahassee, and let me make this disclaimer from the very beginning. This could totally be, the wishes of Florida State faithful in hoping that Jameis Winston isn't guilty of these charges. But I'll say this. The people that I've talked to seem very confident that Jameis Winston is not going to be charged with any crime. Here's the story of what actually went down. This is what the streets are saying in Tallahassee. Jameis Winston had an ongoing relationship with this young lady. He was at her place. His girl from the crib was coming in town. So he had to leave the first young lady. Now, she got upset. She felt offended. She, like the young people said, she felt some type of way about him getting up, putting on his clothes, and leaving to get back with his old girlfriend. Now, from this, she basically assaulted him, okay? She basically started beating him up in an outrage, in a rage, beating him up. He restrained her. Thus, those where the bruises came from on the young lady. Now, here's the interesting part about this. You've got his roommate and her friend already confirming that Jameis Winston did absolutely nothing. And the funny thing about this is there's already pictures, or there were pictures of them together as happy friends. I'm not going to even say a couple, as happy friends. And you're all listening to the Doug Stewart Show on Instagram and on Facebook. Subsequently, those were taken down. But there was an ongoing relationship where they were cool. They were friendly. So his roommate, her friend, has already confirmed the details of this story to the state's attorney. And I'm hearing that there will be no charges filed. That there will be no charges filed against Jameis Winston. Now, let me say this. I went to college. I was an athlete, and obviously not to the degree of Jameis Winston. I mean, Jameis Winston is a baller. Jameis Winston is about to make a lot of money in the NFL. Jameis Winston is a clear favorite for the Heisman Trophy. Jameis Winston is a guy that's probably going to be the first pick in the NFL draft. He's a fantastic football player. I'm gonna side with Jameis Winston, and once again, we don't have all the details. We don't know exactly what happened. I'm gonna side on Jameis Winston's side. The reason why is because I don't know the young lady, and listen, I've really, it's a thin line, and I've really got to tread lightly because you're taking this from a guy that has 3 daughters. So again, let me make sure and reassure you, if he did this. If he did rape this person, then he should pay the severest penalty possible, okay? There's no place for that. It just seems kind of odd at this time, a year later, this story comes out. I'm hearing things that the person that produced this story, that dug this story up, is a University of Florida fan. I'm not going to even get into that. That's he say, she say for real. But I'm going to believe Jameis Winston had nothing to do with this. I'm going to believe that Jameis Winston didn't rape this young lady. And the reason I say that is simple. I've been there. I've done that. I know these type of situations that athletes, that guys on campus can get themselves into. You say one thing, they think you mean it another way. You do this, temperamental young ladies get upset and things happen. The reason why I'm going to take Jameis Winston's side is because I've seen this young man. I've heard this young man talk. I've seen and believe that this young man came from a great family and had great upbringing. If you've heard him talk for a second, you'd agree with me. He seems to be a fine young man. Once again, he may not be. Maybe he has a dark side like Dexter. I don't know. But he seems to be a great young man. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And as well, when you talk about the circumstances around this, over a year, okay? If in my opinion, if you were raped, and I would tell my daughters this, God forbid if my daughters were ever in a situation like this. If you were raped, there's nothing in the world that could stop me from telling the police or wanting my daughters to tell the police and tell her story. You held on to this for a year. It seems like when she went to the police originally a year ago, it seems like she was trying to document the case in the event that maybe she wants to, file a claim at some point. I don't know whether there was a deal being worked out. I don't know whether it's an all-out lie. I just don't know. It just seems very curious that a year later, she's claiming that he raped her. Now, listen to this. Originally, the person was 5'11". So basically, it appears that when she went to the authorities a year ago, she tried to hide Jameis Winston's identity. What? Why would you do that? Now it's Jameis Winston. Okay? And once again, to me, the fact that you would lie about who the person was, someone that you'd had an ongoing relationship with for a while, lie to the authorities about it, to me, that seems like you're trying to document a case for something bigger in the future. So, once again, I want to believe that this isn't true. I want to believe that Jameis Winston didn't do this. I mean, Jameis Winston, I talked about it earlier. Jameis Winston don't have to take no ass. He does it. He does it. And I know some people say that's not what it's all about. That's not what rape's all about. It's about dominance. I get that. Jameis Winston is the most heralded player to come through Florida State in a long, long time. Jameis Winston is, once again, probably going to the national championship. Should win the Heisman, but now his reputation is sullied. We don't know if that's going to happen. Jameis Winston doesn't have to take it from anybody. There are about 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 young ladies on that campus that would love to break Jameis Winston off something proper. I'm serious. And that's just the facts about it. So in this case, until we hear any more, and I'm hearing that this case is going to be resolved early this week, and that actually what they're trying to do right now is decide whether they're going to file charges, the state's attorney's office, against the young lady for, false accusations. That's what I'm hearing right now. Once again, it could be totally false, but I tend to believe my sources, and I tend to believe in the young man that I've seen since he's been at Florida State, and that's Jameis Winston. That's what I believe. And I want to get your thoughts on it. You can email me, Doug at thedougstewartshow.com. You can check the show out on thedougstewartshow.com. And also, you can text me at 770-847-0536. What's your thoughts on Jameis Winston? Guilty or not guilty? Let's say that this show is before the storm. I'll probably give a follow-up show after the storm, after we find out if he's going to be charged, what's some type of outcome to the story. I'll do a follow-up show. All right? Want to get your thoughts? Email me, Doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Pass the word. Tell people about the show. The funnest, the realest show on the internet. The Doug Stewart Show. Tell people. Share. Like. And subscribe. All right? This is the Doug Stewart Show.